Hello dear learners, my name is Suleiman Diop. I'm a teacher of English at Blaise Diagne High School, and today I'm here to deal with a grammar lesson entitled the conditional clauses. This lesson, we have chosen to deal with it because it is very important for learners when expressing conditions in everyday situations to know how to do it. Now, the first stage of our lesson is about the zero conditional and the first conditional. Why do I talk about the zero conditional? Because it will help us deal with actions or events in real life situations in order to express various meanings such as things that are generally true or likely to happen in the future. Now, for this first level, we have this, and for the second level now, it is the second conditional. It can be used to express imaginary or improbable situations in the present. And the third conditional deals with actions or events that help us express possible events in the past that did not happen. Now, the second stage of our lesson is about a brief revision of the different tenses that are implicated in this lesson. The first tense is the present simple, which is also known as the simple present. That, almost all our troisième students know about it. It is the infinitive without to plus s in the third person singular. And this infinitive without to can also be called the bare infinitive. The second tense, which will be implicated in the structuring of these conditional clauses, is the feature, which is formed with will plus the bare infinitive. It's needless to say that bare infinitive also means infinitive without to. Now, the third tense you will need to know about in order to deal with conditional clauses is the simple past, also known as past simple and commonly called by many students preterite. For some irregular verbs, it is formed, for some irregular verb, it is called the preterite. Now, for the regular verb, you form it with the root of the verb plus ed or d. For example, for verbs ending with e, like save, encourage, they only take d because those verbs already end with e. Now, for irregular verbs now, you just refer to the list. That's why we always ask our students to learn their irregular verbs, the list of their irregular verbs by heart. Now, the fourth tense that will be important for the use of the conditional clauses is the present conditional, which is formed with the would, the auxiliary would plus the bare infinitive. I recall you that the bare infinitive is the infinitive without to. Now, the fifth tense is the past perfect, also known as the pluperfect, which is always formed directly with had plus the past participle of the verb. And the last tense that you may need to form the conditional clauses is the sixth tense. It is the past conditional. You can form it with would have plus the past participle. So this was a brief revision of the tenses. Now let us go to the third stage of our lesson. The third stage deals with the level 1, which is level 1 but the zero conditional, because in the level 1 we will see two aspects. The first aspect is the zero conditional. It is when students associate the present simple to another present simple. And I give you a good example here. You can take these pills if you feel sick, is a good example. And here, when I get ill, I rest in bed. Another association of the present simple and another present simple. You see here in red, it is evident that get is in the present, rest is in the present too. I get burnt if I don't use sun cream. I give you this example because I just want you to know that the order of the sentence is not important. You can start your sentence with the main clause and finish it with the subordinate clause. That's why we have if in the middle of the sentence. And you may also see that don't use is in the negative form, which is important to focus the present negative. So you see that in the zero conditional, we deal with actions that are generally true, okay, or that are always true. And now for the first level, we have also the first conditional, which is an association of the future and the simple present. Here also I insist that the order of the sentence is not important. If she does well in her exams, she will go to the university. Okay. Another example is, if you repair my computer, I will give you 10 pounds. Yes. And another one, I will buy a new car when I have money. Here you see that we start with the future and we finish with the present simple. Now, Musa, can you give me at least one example for the zero conditional? Yes. Okay. Musa, if I have my, okay, if you are ready, you can go out. Okay, good example. And Abdullah, can you find another example for the first conditional? Yeah. If I have enough money, I will bring my parents to Mecca. And Nafisa too, can you add one example for the first conditional? Yes, sir. If I have, okay, some books, I will share them with my brothers and sisters. Okay. Now let us go to the next level, which is about the second conditional. No, we are just insisting on the first conditional, giving other examples as soon as the teacher comes. We will start the lesson. That's why we insisted on the title, the conditional clauses, because this lesson is not the if clauses, because some other linkers can be implicated, like as soon as, like if, like unless, like before, like after, like whenever, like provided that or providing that. You can have other linkers to deal with the conditional clauses. So here we talk about something that is likely to happen in the future as a result of an action or a situation. Thank you. Now we are going to deal now with the second conditional. The second conditional is the association of the simple past in the subordinate clause and the conditional present or present conditional in the main clause. Here also the order of the sentence is not important. I give the example of if I knew the answer, I would tell you, which can also be I would tell you if I knew the answer. You see that would tell is the present conditional and knew is the simple past. And what I was insisting on is again here, unless is another linker. Unless she changed her job, she would keep living in precarious conditions. Okay, and another example again, to sustain on irregular verb, for example, the verb to have, if we had more money, we would live elsewhere. And also another one for the verb to be, I would not worry about it if I were you. And Yusufa, can you give me an example for the second conditional? Yes, sir. Okay, I wouldn't have good marks if I didn't work hard. Thank you, Yusufa. And Fatumata, can you add one again for the second conditional? Yes, sir. Unless they came early, they wouldn't have good seats. You see that here we deal with improbable or imaginary situations in the present. Okay, so you see that the second conditional is a backshift of two other tenses. From the first conditional, you derive now the main clause is in the conditional present or present conditional, and the subordinate clause is in the simple past. Now let us go to the last part, to the third level of the conditional, the third conditional. Now for the third conditional, you can notice yourself that there is an association between had killed and would have found. Had killed being the pluperfect or the past perfect, and would have found being the conditional past. You see, and I give many other examples like unless he had made more efforts, he would have failed. Nafi would have passed her exam if she had worked harder. Okay, so I am going to insist to tell you that now, if she had worked can be had she worked. If they had been can also be had they been. Let me give you an example before we proceed. Had they been rich, they would certainly have lived elsewhere, for example. And here I'm going to ask Abdurrahman to give me an example of the third conditional. Okay, yes, okay, Abdurrahman, we would have had better marks if we had worked harder. Thank you, Abdurrahman. Now, what about Khadija? Khadija, give me an example of the said conditional. Khadija says, yes, Khadija, go on. If we had been there on time, we would have had good seats. Thank you, Khadija. Here, so you see that the action is hypothetical in the past, hypothetical actions in the past. We are dealing with possible events in the past, but those actions did not happen. That is a kind of regretting the past, which is an illusion, but we are just going to express, okay, what we wanted it to be, what we wanted the past to be. Now we proceed now. Let's go to the next stage. We are going to illustrate now, class. We are going to give you, for the type 1 conditionals. We said that conditional sentences are based on fact in real time. They express a possible condition and its probable result. If it rains, I'll get wet. You see, if they arrive late, the teacher won't accept them. There are other links with meanings similar to it that can be used in type 1 conditional sentences. I insisted previously saying that provided, providing, unless, supposing, all those things can be used in the first one conditional. I'm going to give you some other examples. Providing I have money. Okay, let me come back to the examples, the illustrations. Yes, if you see the type 2 conditional sentences now. Okay, these conditional sentences are not based on fact. Here you are expressing imagination. Okay, you are expressing improbability. They express a situation which is contrary to reality, a hypothetical condition and its probable result. This unreality is shown by a tense shift again. Here you adapt the conditional present to the past. If I were taller, I would join the police. If Hadi were or was more beautiful, she would win the beauty contest. She would win the beauty contest. Okay? If you did your homework, you'd better at English. If Liverpool continued the championship this year, it would win it. Okay, so these are a lot of examples summarizing the type 2, okay, the level 2 of the conditional clauses. Okay, now let us go to the type 3, which is the last stage of our lesson. In the type 3 now, conditional sentences are unreal. You are thinking of things that you wanted to be in the past, but in fact, they did not happen. They are not based on fact like in type 2. They express a situation which is contrary to reality in the past. This unreality is shown by a tense shift backwards. Now, the past, which was in the second conditional, is going to become past perfect, and the conditional present or present conditional is going to become a conditional past. Now, let me give you a simple example. If Sadio Mane had played this game, Liverpool would have won. The reality is that Liverpool did not win because of the absence of Sadio Mane. If she had loved me, I would have married her. The reality is that I was not sure that she loved me. That's why I didn't marry her. You see, okay? So the following linkers are used to express a condition. Providing, provided, as long as, so long as. Plus now you can add if, you can add unless, you can add whenever, etc., etc. There is a long list. That's why right at the beginning I told you that this lesson cannot be called the if clauses. It is called the conditional clauses. Now I give you other examples. Whether you come or not, it would be nice to see you soon. However late it is, no matter how late it is, just phone me. Supposing you run out of money, I could help, you see. Okay, so now I give you at the end a practical exercise, a practical activity. Okay, I'm going to read it for you. Afterwards you will find some answers. Okay, 5 Senegalese fishermen found themselves in deep trouble when a storm blew up suddenly off the coast of Guinea and wrecked their boat. They were finally spotted by a rescue plane. If they hadn't gone out fishing, their boat, now you give the right tense for the verb not to be destroyed. But in other way, they were extremely lucky because if the plane not see them, they would probably have died. Imagine how their parents to feel now, put it in the right tense, a tragedy happened. So next time, unless they take all their precautions before going to sea, there to be, you give the right tense of the verb to be, a high probability to see them die tragically. Now, if you have now, here is the end of our lesson. Okay, dear learners, thank you very much for watching our lesson. Here is the end of our lesson. So if you have any questions, just post them to the forum, and goodbye.
Dear learners, dear parents, welcome again to Canal Éducation on the Apprendre à la Maison programme offered to you by the Ministry of Education. You know, the Ministry of Education has thought of supporting you in this challenging situation of COVID-19. So this program will help you keep learning at home while staying home. All right. My name's Aminata Njai. I'm the technical advisor for ELT at the Ministry of Education. Today, we have two guests. On my right, we have Mrs. Aissatou Cissé Sarr, a teacher trainer at CRFPE Dakar. Hello, Mrs. Cissé.
Hello, Aminata.
How are you today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. And on my left, you have Mr. Tambangom, who's the National Pedagogy Coordinator at the Ministry of Education. Hello, Mr. Ngom.
Hello, Aminata.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good.
Great.
All right. Okay. So we are very pleased to be here with you today. We've just watched a lesson on conditional clauses, and we would like to welcome some questions from you just to give you further clarification on the topic. Can we welcome the first question?
My name is Suleiman Bangura from Bakel. My question is, what is the difference between the zero conditional and the first conditional?
Thank you, Suleiman. The question is, what's the difference between the zero conditional and the first conditional? Can I give you the floor, Mrs. Cissé?
Thank you, Aminata. Well, with the zero conditional, we use the present simple in the two clauses, meaning in the if clause and in the main clause, because it expresses general truth. And then we can use if or replace it by when. Example, if you heat butter, it melts. Or when you heat butter, it melts. Plants die when you don't water them. Or plants die if you don't water them. As for the first conditional, the facts are based in real time and it expresses possible condition. And generally we use the present simple in the if clause and the future will in the main clause. Example, if I have money, I will buy a car. Okay? Or if I don't feel fine, I will not go to school.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Cissé. That's very clear. Mr. Ngom, can we hear from you?
Yeah, thank you very much once again, Aminata, for inviting us. Her answers are very clear. Just maybe to strengthen her by giving two more examples, one for zero conditional and one for the first conditional. The first one is if you put your hand in the fire, it burns you. That's for the first one. For the second one, I can give this example. If I have new glasses, I will see better. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your clear answers and interesting contributions. So I think similarly we can say, as an additional example, when it winds or if it winds, the tree leaves move. Thank you. So do we have another question?
Hi, I'm Nefatou Sougou, calling from Saly-Niakh-Niakhaye. Can we express the conditional without using if?
Thank you, Nefatou. The question is, can we express the conditional without using if? Mr. Ngom, you have the floor.
Thank you, Aminata, and thank you to our dear learners, the one who call far from here, Bakel, and the one calling from Salinyahal, it means we are followed from everywhere in the country. And thank you once again for your relevant question. Yeah, I would say yes. And to give you some examples, I would go for this one. If I had seen Aminata earlier, I would have married her. Had I seen Aminata earlier, I would have married her. The second question is, if Mawa had watched Canal Education, he would have understood very well the lesson. Had Mawa watched Canal Education, he would have understood the lesson very well. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ngom. Very clear and very interesting. So what you've done here is an inversion between the auxiliary and the subject. Thank you very much for your participation. We really appreciate, and thank you, dear guests, for your contributions and your clear answers. Thank you for participating. Now, dear learners, thank you very much, and see you in the coming lessons and lessons and debriefing sessions. We hope you liked it, and we just would like to remind you of the important recommended measures. Stay home, learn at home, keep following Canal Education, and remember to keep your hands clean by using this hand sanitizer, soap, and water.
Thank you. Thank you, Aminata.
And most importantly these days, keep wearing a face mask. It has become mandatory now. Thank you very much.